good. Mic check 1 2 1 2 3.
Hello, everybody. Can you hear us?
Wait, let me do it into the mic.
Hi guys.
Hello, hello.
This is David. I'm speaking to everybody right
I was beatboxing.
The point of us doing this stream today, even though it's a little bit unique, is because we want to help people who are navigating relationships, both, I guess, friendships as well, but more so marriages. I feel like things are really, really difficult right now in 2025 with like AI and social media. And we're coming up on our 4 year of marriage anniversary, so we don't
Yep.
know everything, but
Learning every day.
yeah, we've navigated some really difficult situations the years that we've been together. And so I made a poll on my Instagram and my Discord asking people for all of their questions. So I just want to go through some of the things that I've seen and that I've experienced. David's going to share his side of things, and then we're going to be answering some of your guys' questions, because I feel like marriage is just so difficult in 2025 with the narratives that are spread online. It makes it really difficult to tell, what's real and what's not, etc. There's this narrative that's being pushed that like if you're not a woman in a sundress that just like basically lets your husband do everything, then you're not a good wife. And then there's the other side of things that are like, if you're not leading the house and all of this stuff, then you're not a real man.
Yeah, you don't really get anywhere in life in general if you don't, say what you think or at least consider it and have conversations, I think. So don't just like sit back and go along for the ride, whether you're the male or whatever partnership relationship you have. If there's something that's on your mind or if there's something you want to do, have a conversation about it and don't just stand on the sidelines. Like actively be involved in your life on both sides.
Some of the clips that we've seen that kind of show what narratives are being spread, we've pulled. So the first one I think we'll play is this one.
We'll see.
Yeah, David's gonna live react to this one because this one's one that I just pulled.
Falling in love is beta. Yes, I said it. I want you to ditch all these Hollywood Disneyfied ideas and throw them in the trash. Real men do not fall in love. Why? Because falling correlates to emotion. Letting your feelings and heart drive you forward. It is a very feminine quality. Men's love is logical. It is action-based. It has purpose and direction. It is orderly. There is reason behind it. And not in any manipulative way, but because without structure, proper deliberate action over a prolonged period of time, nothing can sustain itself.
I mean, he's just explaining what love is. It's prolonged, it's discipline, it's actually an action, a thing you need to do. You don't just fall in love, you don't just feel love. You can for a moment in time, but everything he's saying, it's hilarious because he's like saying all these things, but it's like, yeah, that's exactly what love is. Like we do have love. That's the reason why we get up. That's the reason why we push forward.
You merely feeling good, therefore moving into those emotions, is similar to you going to the gym just because you're motivated. Remember this the next time you fall in love with your next girl. Beta. That's her job, not yours.
And that's so silly because it's like men have feelings too. Like, I hate this narrative because it's basically saying that if you have feelings towards a girl and you're not just being intentional and logical every single day, then you're not a real man, or like you're a beta male. That's not true. David does have feelings for me. Like, he does feel love towards me, and it's because he feels the love and vice versa that we're able to do the actions that he's talking about. Because it's true, like, love isn't always a feeling. Sometimes you don't feel like you're in love with the person that you're with because something might be happening externally. We go through a lot of things in life. We can have a family member that dies. It doesn't mean that I'm going to look at him and go, oh my gosh, like, I love you so much. No, I'm grieving something right now. So I have to take deliberate actions, and he has to take deliberate actions regardless of whether we like feel loved or not.
Yeah.
In the moment. And like, it's such a twisted version of what love actually is, to say that men don't have feelings. Like, you're not allowed to fall in love as a man. Yes, you are.
At the end of the day, a lot of these big business gurus, what they'll say is, I wish I spent more time with family or love or being with my children. At the end of the day, that's the only thing that matters. So the better thing to do is find what that driving force is and run with it. So like I still think like you've got to be disciplined. All the stuff he's saying is fine in a different context maybe of like being disciplined and locking in on something, but it still needs to revolve around love anyway because I mean the world would just be a better place with that.
Okay, this next one is kind of, so that one was about the man's role and like this like skewed view of what it is. This one's about the woman's role, and I think I'll let this clip speak for itself.
People always get so mad at me when I say I love when I let my partner lead. Why does it affect you? It doesn't. Not only that, I'm happy. I love when I listen to my man and do what he says. And not in an oppressive, toxic way, but in a, he's smart, I trust his judgment, I trust his character, and generally, he has my best interests at heart. So why wouldn't I listen to him? Why wouldn't I let him lead? If you are with the right man, you will follow him blindly wherever he leads you.
If she's dating the smartest guy in the world and she just like wants to let him do his thing, but we all kind of make mistakes and we all need to lean on each other, I think, just as much value as I provide, you provide, that same amount back in different areas. And I think for her or for a person, let's say that guy, for example, he makes all these decisions and then acts and then he accidentally messes up like big time because she just continues to let him lead. When something does go wrong, I guarantee that same girl's just going to completely blame shift everything onto the guy. And then it turns into an argument and all this unnecessary drama because she gets to sit back and be like, oh, it's not my fault because I didn't do anything. I was being passive. I was on the sidelines. You made all the decisions. So I just think that's room for more toxicness because when the guy does mess up or does something wrong, which he will, he's just going to get the short end of the stick.
And like, it's not to say if you want to let your man lead, like by all means go for it. I'm not like bashing the way that she chooses to do things. At the same time, like David and I just watched this docu-series about plane crashes. This is such a tangent, but it's true. And the number one contributing factor to plane crashes is a nervous co-pilot that doesn't speak up when they know that something is wrong. So theoretically, yes, if a man just always 100% knows the answer to everything, then, and you want to like just let them lead on that specific topic or that specific thing, like, yes, 100% go for it. But there are times where, as a wife, to go, hey, let's talk about this, like, let's evaluate this. You don't want to just close your eyes and let anyone lead you anywhere because there's no one that's perfect. Like, there's gonna be mistakes that are made. And it's fine if you're the type of girl that wants to do that. I'm not bashing that. I'm just saying that in relationships, it's not always the best because then the man feels the pressure to constantly lead and be correct 24/7.
The most important thing is to talk about it. Like, of course, like, if you're okay with taking the lead on certain things, that's more than okay. I think where it can be wrong is when you just make those decisions, and I'm talking like big decisions, maybe not necessarily something like um something silly or something you want to purchase an outfit or whatever. But when it comes to big things, it's like, no, have a conversation about it. And then, yeah, sure. If you want to, if the guy wants to be, or whoever it is in the relationships wants to have that conversation with whoever or sign on the dotted line, just an analogy, then go for it. But I think in a marriage, like you have to have those conversations. If you, even in business, if you have a business partner, you still got to talk to them. They're going to trust you and they're still going to go your way, maybe, but they might bring something of value to the table as well. If you're just making all the decisions, it's always good to have another opinion, not because you're weak or because of you don't want to let them lead, but it's nice to have that open communication.
Here's another
I'm not
clip
ever gonna-
of a guy who is basically, well, I'll let you guys.
I already know this guy is Too
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
I'm not ever going to be here to shit on women. Women act this way because they're told to act this way, because they're told men are shit. Men are shit because they have not done the things to create an environment where they can walk up to that woman and tell her, you're going to live inside this frame if you're with me. If you're with me, and you don't have to, but if you're with me, it's going to be like this. And there's no debate, there's no negotiation. I care for you, I want to take care of you, and I'm going to lead this, and this is how I'm going to lead. If you can get there, a woman will happily let go of that boss bitch, I can be independent, blah, blah, blah. She's going to want to get behind a strong man that she can trust. And to be a strong man that a woman can trust, you actually have to be about what you say you're about.
Well, why don't you just find a partner who is going to meet you where you're at and you guys can just like discuss everything? I feel like so many problems in marriage are literally from lack of discussion. Like everything should be a discussion. Just talk about it. And it also leaves women to feel like their feelings aren't heard, because most of what women want is for a guy to just hear them out, like to just understand or like take the time to hear their feelings. Whereas men typically, and you can speak to this too, just want to feel like they're respected. Like as long as you guys can communicate to get on the same level, then that is what's going to be the thing that drives you forward. It's not going, well, you didn't do what you were supposed to do, so like men are shit. And then you going, well, you didn't follow me when I told you to do this. So, you know.
Mm. I think he's just like talking about his ideal person, and like if that's how he wants to live his life, that's fine. But like for me and you, like something that attracted me to you was your motivation and was your drive and work ethic. Like when I was, I mean, I wasn't looking for anyone at the time when we met, but the way you were was something that was appealing to me because you had goals. And like basically this guy is like saying like, well, I've got all my goals set, I know what I'm doing, so I just need someone to follow me around that's pretty or whatever. So like that's like, I don't know, like that's his own thing. But there's a lot of people out there that that would appreciate a person who does speak their mind and that does provide more value than just being someone to stand by your side. And I don't know, yeah, it is pretty toxic that he talks like that.
So the next thing we want to do is open the floor for Q&A. We did have some submitted questions, so we're just going to start out by answering the submitted questions, and then if you guys have more questions in the chat, you guys feel free to ask. Also, like, we don't know everything. Don't think that we do, but I can definitely tell you from watching the narrative that's being spewed online that it will create toxic mindsets between you and your potential husband or wife if you choose to, dive into those and believe them, because it's just not realistic. Like, I think 5 years of being together will tell you what is realistic in a marriage and what is not. So, opening up the floor for questions. The first one is one that was asked multiple times on the poll that I put on my Instagram, which is, how did you guys meet? So I figured this one would be cute to answer first before we dive into the more serious ones.
We'll keep it short and sweet, but
Instagram.
Instagram.
Next question was, what is your favorite thing about each other? I love that you guys submitted these types of questions. My favorite thing about David is, one, his sense of humor, which you guys don't get to see a lot, but his sense of humor is so infectious. I feel like when I'm down or having a bad day, like I can always count on David to do something silly and make me laugh. But further than that, I feel like I've watched David grow as a person like so much in the past 5 years. And the one thing that is so consistent about him is that he is constantly trying to better himself, less like blame shifting and like pointing the finger, but he is constantly trying to improve who he is as a person. I think that is the most attractive quality a person can have, because there's no way to get it right 100% of the time. There's no way to be perfect. And I think a lot of people think that that's how it is when you get married. But if you can find someone who's constantly on the path to bettering themselves to be better for you and your family, you've struck gold.
And for Avori,
Yes.
the biggest thing for me would be the way that she loves and shows love and care in that way too. It's something that just the way I was brought up, I wasn't familiar with and still learning. And I think, she just does a good job at that. And
Thanks, babe.
yeah,
Thank you.
it's nice.
Someone asked, did you guys hesitate at the last minute whether to get married or not?
No,
No, I didn't
didn't want to
hesitate at
waste
all.
any time.
We literally got married like pretty quickly, but it was just one of those things where we were like, all right, you're down, I'm down, let's make this work. This is a really, really good question. I fear failure more after being married. How do you decide whether or not to take risks in your career?
We were the exact opposite. We were taking so many risks in our career, to now being like, okay, maybe we should figure out what we can do to have some more stability. But I think for us, like, the biggest thing I would say to help with that is be open and honest. If you feel like there is something you want to achieve outside of the regular thing you're doing, have a conversation to your partner about it, because if they're the right one for you, or you're married, which you are married, so I'm assuming they're going to be somewhat supportive. And if they're not at the time, just play the slow game and work towards it. If you see the vision and they don't expect them to see it right away. It's going to take a little bit of time.
For instance, if I were like, you know what, I think I want to be a race car driver, like I wouldn't just be like, babe, I hope you can take care of the finances, I'm quitting my job, I'm going to become a race car driver. But I might say, hey, I really feel passionate about this. I know that I work a 9 to 5, but from 5 to 7 every day, I'm going to go to the racetrack and I'm going to practice because this is something I really want to do. This is temporary. Like I'm going to make time for you. This is temporary, but let me just see if I can make this work. And I think like both people have to be open to that too.
Yeah.
What's something you guys do for one another that helps a lot when you're having a bad day? I can tell you what he does for me. Well, you can tell what you do for me.
What was the question?
Did you black out during?
Yeah.
What's something that you guys do for one another that helps a lot when you're having a bad day?
She likes back tickles, a bath, flowers maybe, just depends.
He's good at like going and getting me something that he thinks will help. Sometimes it's not always something that actually will, but if he thinks it does, then that's then that's all that matters to me. Like,
Thought that counts.
yeah, exactly. I feel loved when you do get me gifts, and he feels loved when I'm like, let's go fishing or let's go do something.
Or affectionate.
Yeah. We don't have to go there. Actually, speaking of affectionate.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. So this one's a little bit more spicy, but I think it needs to be said.
This is a serious question.
So I'll do it. So this person's like, he basically asking like, how often do we do it per week specifically? And I'm not gonna answer like that specifically, but I will say like, there is something where a lot of people feel like when you do get married that it either stops, or it's not as good, or it's not as exciting as like, I don't know, other things like dating and sleeping around and doing these other activities. And like, it may seem like it's fun, but at the end of the day, it's kind of like hurting you way more. The beauty and best thing about it is you spend time learning what you like and don't like in these scenarios. And it's actually like, over time, you build something that's way better. And like, I've even felt like I even think about it sometimes when I'm driving. I was like, oh, it's cool that like now she like knows me, or I know her in that way.
I'll send him a little something. I want to say, each of us, you say your truth and then I'll say my truth. What does a woman actually want in a man? Like in 2025, if you're a guy and you're on the prowl per se and you're looking for a woman, like all of these videos can be confusing. You're like, how do I be a man that a woman wants, or vice versa? How do I be a woman that a guy will actually want? As a female, I'm 29 years old now, but back even when I was 25, I was not looking for a guy who had a large bank account at all. I was not looking for a guy
I was
that
broke. I'm kidding.
But I was not looking for a guy with a large bank account. I wasn't looking for a guy that just knew all of the answers to everything, who could just like choose and pick everything for me, who could lead me. I wasn't looking for that. I was looking for someone who had motivation and drive out of life. I was looking for someone who had the time and the capability to grow with me and to love. Like, imagine getting married to someone who didn't even have time to like really build a relationship with you because they were working all the time. Not only that, but the economy is so bad right now that like you kind of need a double income household. Like, it's not really
Yeah.
doable to have a single income household anymore. So
For the
like,
majority of people, it's like it doesn't really make sense not to, especially if
yeah.
you're young. It's
Yeah.
good to have someone in your corner, backing you up, or working together with, chatting about ideas and doing life together. I think I would say as a man, you just want someone who you can trust, that you can work with, build something with, love with, respect each other. That's what you need to find. The worst thing is having someone just so one track minded. You don't want that. You want to be, actually, that's what we were talking about today at church. They were like, it's just good to
Be open
be open
minded.
minded
Yeah.
and be willing to learn, because we all have so much to learn. If you just go into something feeling like you know everything in your way or the highway, like that's not even fun to be around.
Marriage will be challenging in general because you just have to go, like, you have to really learn to just go, nah, it's not that big of a deal. Like, for 99% of things, you just have to learn to be like, ah, it's not that big of a deal. Or learn to go, okay, that's important to them. I need to make that important to me. Even if it's not important to you initially, like, you just kind of gotta like,
Yeah.
hear them out. If that's important to you, okay, what can I do? And for other things that may be important to you but aren't that big of a deal, like, you just gotta be like, yeah, it's not that big of a deal.
Hmm.
Nitpicking will like destroy a marriage, I think. I hope you guys feel more encouraged after this. Like, that's the goal, is that you're able to kind of like weed through all of the bad advice on the internet and hear from a real couple who wants the best for you guys. You've been in my community for a long time, and I can genuinely say, like, I love you. Thank you for being here. You guys have made my life so much better. And if I can share little tidbits of what's working for us along the way to help you guys, I would love to continue doing this with you. So thanks for tuning in. If you guys have any more questions, I'm going to leave that Discord channel up for you guys to discuss marriage and relationships. And hopefully we can do this again soon.
Sounds good to me.